I remember that night like it was carved into my bones, sharp, jagged, unforgiving. I was kneeling on the cold, cracked concrete of my tiny apartment, paint-stained hands trembling as I stared at the canvas I'd just finished. It wasn't much, a chaotic swirl of colors, a testament to my desperation and hope. But to me, it was everything. When I looked at it, I saw not just paint, but the relentless fire that had driven me through years of mockery, doubt, and betrayal. My family had always been the kind that believed in stability, in real careers, law, medicine, engineering. When I announced I wanted to become a painter, their laughter echoed in my ears like 1,000 shards of glass. "That's a joke," my father said, shaking his head. "You'll be starving. You're embarrassing us." My mother's eyes filled with tears, not of pride, but of shame. They told me I was wasting my life, that I was chasing a foolish fantasy, that I was a disappointment in the family's eyes. For years I swallowed their words, hiding my dreams in the shadows of my mind, working mundane jobs just to survive. But inside, a storm raged. I couldn't breathe under their weight of contempt. Art became my secret rebellion, my silent scream into the void. I stayed up nights after long shifts, pouring my soul onto canvases I never showed anyone, fearing their ridicule, yet desperate for a sliver of validation. Then came the night that changed everything. I had finally decided to take the risk, leave the job, move to the city, chase the impossible. It was the scariest leap I'd ever taken. I sold everything I owned, took my savings, and plunged into a world of uncertainty. I knew I might fail, but I also knew I couldn't keep living under their judgment. Years passed in relentless pursuit. I scraped by, faced rejection after rejection, my work dismissed as childish or unmarketable. But I kept going. I studied, practiced, evolved. My style matured, my voice grew stronger. Slowly, the art world took notice. Exhibitions, collectors, fans, people who saw in my work what I'd poured into it. I became someone I never thought I could be, an artist with integrity, a creator who refused to be silenced. And then, the breakthrough. A major gallery picked up my collection. Critics raved. My name started appearing in art magazines, my pieces selling for prices that made my old life seem like a distant nightmare. I had made it, not just in money, but in soul. I had proved that my dreams weren't foolish, they were vital. But fame and success don't erase the past, and I returned home with a new strength, one born from the fires I'd endured. I knew my family's eyes would be on me when I arrived, expecting to see the same kid they mocked, the one they called ridiculous. I wanted to see their faces when they finally understood what I had become. The night I arrived, I parked my car in front of the house, a modest, tired-looking place. The porch light flickered. Inside, I could hear the muffled sounds of their voices, the familiar hum of family life. I hesitated, then stepped out, heart pounding like a drum in my chest. The air was thick with anticipation and memories I'd buried deep. They were sitting in the living room, eyes glued to the television. My mother's face lit up as she saw me walk through the door, her smile tentative but trembling with a mixture of pride and disbelief. My father's brow furrowed, a flicker of suspicion and curiosity in his eyes. "Hey," I said softly, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'm home." Silence. Then my sister, who had once mocked my dreams mercilessly, looked up from her phone, her eyes widening. "Is that you?" I nodded. "It's me." They stood, hesitant. I could feel their judgment swirling like storm clouds, but I let them see what I'd become. Not just the artist on paper, but the man I had fought to be. I took a deep breath and led them to my car. I opened the trunk, revealing a large, wrapped canvas. Their eyes darted between me and the object of my pride. I handed my mother the package. She unwrapped it slowly, her hands trembling. When she saw the vibrant, powerful image, an expression of color and emotion, her breath hitched. "Is this yours?" she whispered. "Yes," I said. "It's my work, my voice." My father finally stepped closer, his face unreadable. He looked at the painting, then at me, silent for a long moment. Then he spoke, voice thick with emotion. "I never understood. I thought you were wasting your life. But seeing this, I see now. You weren't foolish. You were brave." The words hit me like a blow and a balm all at once. I had carried their doubts, their ridicule like scars. But now, those scars had become badges of honor. In that moment, I realized something profound. I had finally shown them what I was capable of. Not just with paint, but with resilience. Their judgments couldn't define me anymore because I had built my own world, my own future. I had fought to turn my ridiculous dream into reality, and I had succeeded far beyond what they ever imagined. As I stood there, victorious and exhausted, I saw the shock, envy, and reluctant respect flicker across their faces. My mother reached out, her hand trembling, and touched my arm. Her eyes were full of regret and pride, and acknowledgement of the journey I'd endured and the man I'd become. I didn't need their approval anymore, but I wanted them to see what real courage looked like. The courage to defy expectations, to chase the impossible, to transform rejection into redemption. I had come home not just to visit, but to reclaim my dignity. To show that the road less traveled, filled with pain and doubt, leads to a place of strength. That a ridiculous dream, fought for with every ounce of your soul, can become your greatest triumph. And as I looked into their eyes, finally understanding, finally seeing, I knew I had won. Not just in fame or success, but in the quiet, unbreakable victory of becoming who I was always meant to be.